This isn't probably every man, but I know a lot of men say this. Women always think men are just mean or berating or misogynistic.
Okay.
Women get to say to men what they want to, but then if a man comes back and say something, then he's being mean or misogynistic.
Okay. So a woman, she says something to him, and then he
And he
responds.
responds, then it's something that, oh, why he got to be mean, or why you got to be so domineering, or what, why. That's
What
it.
if he is?
I'm not going to deny that. But what I'm saying, if you asking about if a woman, what a man feels about a woman, what he thinks about with a woman, is she gets to voice herself. And I always speaking, I got to have my voice heard.
Okay. Because for me, I don't feel like that's what you said. So what you were
Okay,
saying is that women they can express themselves, and their level of self-expression is generally accepted. But when a man does it, when he voices his opinion, he in turn is seen negatively,
right.
regardless of what it
What it
is.
is, regardless, it's that he's trying to keep her suppressed. He's trying to keep her down. He's trying to quiet her voice. A lot of men feel that if I say something back, then I'm the bad guy. But if she get to say whatever it is that she want to say, and it's supposed to be okay.
Okay, so men want to be able to have more self-expression without judgment.
Yeah, I think in this instance, and maybe it might be because as this pendulum swings, that more women are trying to be more vocal, and they're looking for equality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't seem equal. It seems like more women are getting the shots called, and then it's like a man has to take the back seat to it. It's almost, and I know I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of women.
You need to make sure you don't get in trouble with me.
But it's almost like this Me Too movement on steroids.
Okay, you got to keep talking.
It's like every time you turn around, it's the causal, and a man continues to get, especially black men. It's like we keep getting diminished and get diminished. It feels like we have to kind of just go a little bit more, just to even in order to be heard, when we don't really want to do that.
Okay. All right. So, what can women do to help with that?
There really needs to be an understanding of equality.
So, we have to be able to be in the relationship with both parties.
Partnership as partnership.
Okay. And so, we always talk about partnership being about the two people being partners.
Mm-hmm.
However, you need to be able to make sure that your levels of or your types of communication, your style and his style, that they match up, that they're partners too.
Exactly, and I believe that's where a lot of men maybe get it wrong when dealing with women too, because women have been in this position of being squashed in a sense that now men are feeling that, when we really have to learn maybe how to be able to say what it is that we need to say and take what the other person is saying into consideration a
Mm-hmm.
little better. And then women also have to be in a position of also continuing doing that. But because I'm gonna say maybe women used to do that a lot more than they probably do it now.
Shay said he must know how to articulate. I agree with that. I mean, and then that goes for anyone, though,
Mm-hmm,
because I
mm-hmm.
think one of the things that we very often do is we mean one thing and
And say
say
something
something
else.
else.
Right, exactly.
Even within our own marriage,
Mm-hmm.
Hassan, he'll be talking to me and he'll have a whole
I have something
conversation.
going on in my own head, and I've been really thought I just communicated that whole thing to her and left off like a mass portion of it.
And he expects me to respond to
Mm-hmm.
something that I haven't heard, I don't even know exists.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is not that he can't articulate it, it's that he didn't even say it. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people do the very opposite. They believe that they've said it
Mm-hmm.
and didn't at all.
Men are being taken, I don't want to say taken for granted, Well, taken for granted too. Well, let me stay right there because a lot of men feel like they are taken for granted because they feel like, okay, yeah, you're supposed to pay the bills. Yeah, you're supposed to do this. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. Why? And I need to give you some credit for what you're supposed to do. And that's hard for a man to swallow sometimes because no, okay, yeah, I am supposed to do it, but I feel as though if saying thank you,
Showing appreciation.
showing appreciation. Matter of fact, I have a client and he has a problem because his wife won't make his plate. Now, he
Okay.
goes and buy the food, he does this, he pay all the bills and everything. His wife won't make his plate.
Because for him, her making the plate means gratitude.
But now she wants him to go out and fill the gas up in the car and wash the car
Take
and
care of
take the
his
garbage out.
Right. Now,
She
you
won't.
know that I don't subscribe to that.
Right, I know, but I'm saying
And I'm not talking about the plate, though.
Right.
Because, and I want my sisters to hear this, because Hassan is right. This is that there are things, I'm going to take this on a spiritual level, that you do for God. And you do them consistently, and they are small. And God gives wonderful rewards for the smallest of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just telling Him, Lord, I thank you. I'm appreciative. Extending a word of gratefulness,
gratitude, mm-hmm.
can open up an amazing bounty from
Mm-hmm.
Him.
Mm-hmm.
He really does not ask for much.
Right. This is God you're talking about right now.
Exactly.
Right.
Now I realize that we're talking about God.
Right.
And I'm not talking about how human beings interact.
Right.
But because God, He is so gracious, and we can do something, and He extends an outcome and a result for the small good deeds that you do. Mm-hmm. They don't go ignored by Him.
Right.
For what reason should you do that with someone that you love? It should not go ignored. Right. It should not go dismissed. So I know it happens, right. But I want to give you the thought of in the other areas of your life where you don't want this result to happen, right, for you.
Because I'm telling you, a lot of men, I hear a lot of men in my circles, and that's something that they say is the lack of gratitude. What they feel is the lack of gratitude, and they hear, well, you're supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. And that just tears them up like, well, dang, I mean, I can't get a thank you even though I'm supposed to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So someone said men have to stop assuming and instead listen to understand. That is not gender-based. I mean, we sit here in a position of having counsel couples all over the world, and both people do that. And we will tell you that one of the number one problems of communication is the miscommunication caused by assumptions by both or either party. Women do not have a monopoly on being able
to be grand communicators. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I know a bunch of women who have the communication skill of a turtle. Okay, to be honest with you. So it's not as if they have a monopoly on communicating, and a man has a monopoly on communicating or miscommunicating. We all have that issue. When a woman wants her voice heard, mm-hmm, she is saying what it is that she wants without pause. And what a man feels is in that instance, well, this is what it looks like. I'm being challenged about something.
Okay, so I'm trying to visualize what you just said. So when she's communicating and she's saying how she feels and she's making her points.
She's making a point. It's almost like I'm being, no, not even challenged. I'm being chastised.
Okay, so because she makes consecutive points he's
right.
being
He's chastised. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you keep coming with it. You keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. So what happens is a man gets flooded.
Okay, so if she put breaks in there, would he feel like he wasn't being chastised?
Yeah, I mean, because at that point, if it can be a situation where communication can take place, you told me your point. Mm-hmm. Now, okay, this is what I can tell you I can do about that point.
Okay.
And then You know, because you may have a truly valid point. I'm not going to discount your point. However, if you give me this point, then you gave me this point, then you gave me that point, then you gave me that point, and I haven't even dealt with this one.
Okay, so she need to like break it up.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, it's
he like, taps out.
He taps out, man. I ain't trying to hear that.
Okay,
and then now I'm mean.
All right. So the remedy is, while you may have a concern or something to convey to the man, and even though you've been holding it all day or all week,
don't hold it.
You've been holding it all day or all month or all week, and now you have taken this opportunity to go to him. That if you do that, if you give it to him like that, it doesn't feel like bullet points. It feels like target practice.
Right. And that's kind of the same thing to me.
Rather than take those concerns that she has had, for a woman to be able to manage herself and to be able to deliver it with a much more measured space.
Right. I mean, because time and delivery is everything to a man. And I don't want to be in a position where you feeling like your voice is squashed. But if you feel like you have to now overpower me with your voice, then that becomes an issue.
Okay. Pace it out.
Yeah, bring that thing down a little bit.
Don't give it all to him on Tuesday night.
But here's the thing.
Save some for Wednesday.
No. This thing pile up.
Okay, so someone is asking how much space and how often. Let me be honest. I believe that would be about the temperament of your husband.
Right. I mean, that's a discussion. That's a conversation you and your husband, you and your man need to have.
Okay, I know, for example, the way that I do it, because I do have concerns with him. What I will say is, Hassan, can you listen? And sometimes the answer is no, but he'll let me know, because when he hears that, that's the cue. He will say, give me a minute, let me do this, and I'm going to come in there and I'm going to sit down with you and I'll meet you at the table. I know to expect him that he's going to come in the kitchen or whatever, and he's going to talk to me at that time, because he's going to take the time to get himself together so that when we do come together, he's going to be in the right space. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that when that happens, that he hadn't gotten a little worked up, because I know what he's thinking. The hell she won't.
What's going on now?
But to walk right in and to go immediately, I'm going to say it, go at him, because I know that that's what he feels like. I know I'm going to lose him. And he's also saying that many men in their way have that same thought. Is there anything else?
We're talking about men.
We're talking
about men. So I don't want to hear no sister say that brothers do that too. I don't want no one to say that.
You don't need no conditions.
Okay, I'm getting the preamble, right? I'm setting it up. Okay. We cannot take the blame for that dude that you was with before us. It's something that, when you bring yourself to a relationship, when a woman brings herself to a relationship,
yes.
Right? And again, I'm just talking about from a man's point of view with a woman.
Yes.
Right now. Okay. Whatever traumas or dramas that she may have went through with a previous situation.
Yes.
Sometimes, in a good portion of times, the new man feels it. Either responds to him based upon what she has been conditioned to be responding to before, or she just in a bad headspace coming out of that relationship.
Okay, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but that happens because people haven't done the work in between relationships.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
It's kind of like, if I'm short, so I wear long skirts. Well, everything is long on me, and so that means the bottom of my skirt is going to pick up something. And one of the things I do when I come in the house, I try to take it off quickly, because whatever it is that I picked up,
I don't want to trash it through the house.
What we have to do is we have to shed ourselves of the things that we picked up from the outside relationship, or you're gonna bring it into this new relationship house.
Like, look, I'm not your enemy. I'm not him. I'm not going to do to you what he did, or I'm not trying to, mess with you, do your kids wrong, or whatever the trauma might be.
Sometimes we don't know that we have this residue or something that has, we brought with us until you get into the new relationship.
Right.
You think that you're okay.
Right.
And then I'm going to talk about me. Okay. We have been married for years. And when we were in your man cave and you said something to me, and it was nothing inappropriate, but
it triggered you
because of the depths of your voice and your position around my body. It reminded me of a moment years ago in which my life had been threatened, and I broke down. And I don't even I had told you about it.
No, you had never told me about that incident before.
I had no, okay. I had never told him about that incident. I can't say that I never thought about it. However, it was truly an isolated, traumatic incident. And not something I have ever experienced, thank God, since. Right. However, in that moment, I got triggered and I cried profusely. And so sometimes we don't know. And that was something that happened once.
Something like that can happen. And then that allows me to bring about some compassion for you, to learn some wings of humility for you, to be able to comfort you in that situation. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm talking about, brother did this to you. And so this guy that you was in a relationship with, he did this consistently to you. And I haven't even done anything, but you got a glimpse of thinking that this is getting ready to happen, and you automatically are hyper vigilant about it, and here it comes.
I laugh because I thought about me when we first got married. And you used to say to me all the time, I'm not your enemy. I have been married to someone who at times worked against me.
Right. And what happens is, and I love this expression, when it says, everybody has a plan to get hit in the mouth, right? And so what happens in this instance, people do believe they have worked on healing. Now, I get that. People, I'm not going to sit here and act like you didn't think you were good. I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't think I was good even when we got together.
Remember I said, I know you don't think that you okay.
Right. You see what I'm saying? And so, because even though I thought I was.
Right. And I said, you came and got me and married me in this condition. And we were actually better than many.
Right. For sure. But there was still some work, because we had gotten to what I believe was a level of work that we both had tried to, from personal development. I think we were at a level to where now we thought of each other at even at a higher level than that. Right. So, but we were working on us.
Yes.
Individually. And so when we got together, that still means when we got together, we still had to be in a position of working on us in this union.
Right. And we were at a place where we could hear what the other person said, even when we didn't like it, without saying, you hating on me, you're criticizing me, you're misogynistic, I need to divorce you. We were really in a place where we were healthy enough to hear what the other person
I mean,
said.
It doesn't mean that we have some knockdown dragouts with it, but because we are both passionate people when it comes to our positions, right? But at some point, I wasn't blaming you for what old girl did to me 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and you wasn't still trying to be in a position to blame me what happened with you and your ex-husband. Again, some men feel like that's a case for them. Now, I can say, but we're not talking about this, I know that some women feel the same way.
Yes.
Right? But that's another question for another time.
What can women do to support men with that sentiment?
Well, first recognize that if he says that, then peel back before you defend
Hmm.
and ask the question, okay, how do you believe this is showing up?
What am I doing?
What am I doing to give you that belief?
Okay.
Right?
One, so get
Get
curious.
curious to find out what it is, because even though you may not have the intentions on doing that,
You could be.
you can be doing it. This comes off that way. So that's one thing. Also, know too that nobody totally heals from something in the past. Nobody just totally heals.
Wait a minute, because I believe people do heal. I
I
think.
don't. I mean, I feel like they get better. For
Wait
instance,
a
I got
minute.
a cut. Let me explain this. I got a cut on my hand. Now I still got the scar.
Okay, which means that it healed. However, it doesn't mean that there is no marking of it.
There you go. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. People can recover
Right.
from what happened to
Right.
them. However, your narrative, your story of what happened to you, that doesn't
That doesn't
change.
Right.
And
It
what
doesn't
people
change.
want healing to look like is to be that I heal because I don't think about it anymore. I don't feel sad about it anymore. I haven't thought about it in years. Now, that part may never happen.
Right. Because you may come across something may trigger, and he may say something, or she may say something, and you're gonna say, I remember when such and such said that foolishness to me, and it got what he said and what that other person got is no relationship whatsoever, but it triggered something in you, and that's
Okay.
okay, and that's okay. Just don't hold me accountable for what he did.
Ladies, I think that's enough for us for today.